Well, we brought in a special guest for today's episode. We'd like to introduce you to Lonely Jim. Lonely Jim, we met last night, and he's kept us up all night with his pathetic and mournful sounding bugles. So we're pretty sure he's ready to make an appearance.
Yeah. I think it was we may have to put him out of his misery.
He sounds very lonely. It's a very emotional sounding bugle, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he'll come running as soon as we tell him there's another elk around.
Very spikish.
Watch, it's going to be some giant. But we've heard him bugle probably 10 or 12 times throughout the night. He's moved back and forth. I think he went down to water at one point, but we're going to go see if we can track him down and at least say we've had a call in.
We'll tag along with him when he goes over to his buddy's place.
Yeah, maybe he'll lead
us
to
him.
the elk. He's probably thinking the same thing. Maybe those guys that sound like me will lead me to more of us.
Yeah.
We'll see. And there's Lonely Jimmy. Hey, hold on. job holding still, John. I looked up and I thought, he's about to step on John.
I was scared. He walked right here.
I know. I didn't have my 3-yard pin dialed, so I had to pass. Good job, good willpower.
Oh, when he walked right here, it was like...
He walked right there and bugled on top of me. I'm like, lonely Jim. See if I can find one with 6 on each side. I'm pretty impressed.
I can't believe Donnie.
Donnie doesn't let bulls walk very often. I might get in trouble. And he was fired up. Like overnight, just no bugling to here we are. Welcome to September. ever watchful eye of cameraman John. We're hustling up the road trying to make it up to that bugle we heard. John's like right there in the road. There are like 5 or 6 cows and 3 or 4 spikes, raghorns. I don't think they were the ones that were bugling. Then we've got 4 mature bulls up on the hill with no cows, no interest. Overnight it'll turn on. I think it's starting. We're running out of days, so we needed to start a little faster. I think it's over for the morning. Everything kind of just shut down. We're up on the edge of all their bedding area. Nothing's talking, so I think we'll just hunker down here for a bit, see if something fires off. But we got more of an extended morning this morning than we've had, which is good. We're seeing sign everywhere, like literally overnight. There's just sign everywhere. We're seeing cows, we're hearing bugles, so things definitely kicked on. Should hopefully just get better and better. But I don't want to go traipsing through here and bump a bunch of elk out here now that we know where they're at. So we'll just got good wind here. We'll sit here. The drainage we've been hunting to the north is right down here below us. I think there's probably water starting in here and probably some wallows down there. So we may find ourselves down there sitting on a wallow before too long. But we're just gonna hang out here for a bit.
I just got a text from my mom. And she said, back before I was born, my dad used to be a mime. He never talked about it.
I understand Donnie just told a dad joke without me present. I guess I've been giving him too much of a hard time over his dad joke, so he's feeling a little sensitive. He just came and told it to me, though, and I actually laughed at it, so he saved his good one for when I wasn't around. Maybe I'll do the same thing for calling elk. I'll save the good ones for when Donnie's not around. It's about 10:30. We sat here for a little bit. Nothing's talking at all, so we're gonna drop down into this canyon, get in the bottom. There's a little trickle of water. See if we can find some wallows or something down there. Maybe sit there for a few hours. See if anything comes in. Yeah, every time we pick a water hole, we pick the wrong one, and elk, we hear it, they're just 60 yards apart, 30 yards apart, and
Yeah.
you can only see one of them because it's so brushy in there. It seems like we sit on one and it comes into the other. to kill elk when they don't move and when they don't bugle. You got like an hour in the morning, that's it.
I don't know if they just run up to the top and then run back down.
They definitely are on the move a lot. At least we had some excitement this morning.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to for tomorrow.
Yes. Just comes time to figure out where we're going to go in the morning.
Yeah. I don't know. Go eat a peak refuel and think about it. Figure it out. Finally, a real call-in.
We've got an up-close personal look at a New Mexico elk.
Really up close. We actually coming back the night before to camp, we had a bull bugle close to camp, and he sounded kind of like a weak, weird little early season young bull. And I think he bugled 4 or 5 times during the night that night.
Yep.
And then the next morning, we went right back to the meadow where we hunted the first morning, where you passed up those 4 bulls.
Yep.
Or where the 4 bulls came in and caught us standing out in the open, and we didn't have a shot. Yeah, they passed us up, and Lonely Jim answered, and we bugled for probably 30 or 40 minutes there, trying to coax him down off the ridge, and he wasn't having it.
No. And by then the wind's starting to change a little bit, so we had to get almost up and around him to be able to get close to him, and thought maybe he was gone, but
yeah, he was definitely moving up the canyon, like he was heading to higher ground, and we just kept pushing and pushing. He was super vocal. I mean, he bugled a ton the whole time, and we kept pushing, and finally pushed to the right. We got close enough. We got up on a little ridge. He was on the next little ridge, and there really wasn't much of a draw between us.
no.
And so I dropped down the hill, screamed in his face, and then dropped down the hill, and all of a sudden I saw antlers coming over the top of the sagebrush and down through the brush, and pretty soon he's standing like 6 yards from me, and I thought, he had to have gone through a shooting lane to get here. Like, Donnie had to have had a shot. And then he turned and whirled to run, and I don't know if I cow called or bugled, but saw him turn around, and I thought, he's got to be close to Donnie. Donnie better be set up right there. What's going on? And
We were set up.
Yes, you were.
I had opportunities, and I decided to wait. He would have.
How hard was that? Because you don't pass up elk very often.
Second elk I've passed up.
Ever?
Archery,
I remember the first
archery
one.
season, yeah.
So after you shot the big bull in Wyoming, we came back to Idaho, and he passed up a 6-point.
Yep. Thankfully.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been a fun pack. But
Yeah. No, even though we haven't been seeing stuff, we're kind of starting to hear some more bugles.
we're seeing cows and spikes now, which we hadn't been seeing. So I think things are starting to.
We've got a layout of the land a little bit, and there's potential for some bigger bulls in there, and we still had a couple of days, but
although 3 yards would have been a pretty awesome shoot there.
And I think he came closer to the camera when John was standing there than he did to me. So John got a real up close look at him.
Yeah, close enough he literally could have reached out and touched the elk.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool just to experience that.
Yeah. Yep, and there was only a tree separating a bull elk and John was a little nervous.
Yeah, just where the bull went, because I'm right down below him with the wind coming up, so that bull, when he winded me, could have easily whirled 180 degrees and come right back through there, and like I said, 3 yards to the left, and he would have skewered John.
Yeah.
Pretty cool though, pretty fun. We were talking about that all night that night, just how cool it was, and even still, it's a tough hunt. We aren't having the action like we hoped we would. We're confined to a single piece of property, which we haven't had that confinement before. We've always been able to just pack up and go find the elk. So there's definitely some challenging aspects, but to be able to call in a bull like that, whether it's on private land, public land, whatever, it's a cool experience.
Close encounters make them a little more memorable.
Yeah. So Donnie mentioned he's only passed up 2 elk in his life, and so that brings us to today's failure analysis that's brought to you by the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. And while it's not at all a failure to pass up a bull, it can lead to not filling a tag.
That it can.
So it's important, I think, to talk about that. And it's important, you know, for us as hunters to at least have that in our mind before we go and know kind of what our goal is.
Yeah.
You know, for most of the time, Donnie and I are happy to fill a tag.
Yeah.
And we don't pass up very many elk, but there's some times, you know, if I draw a good tag, if we're hunting New Mexico on a landowner tag, I think our goals and our expectations are maybe a little higher. And you can't shoot big elk if you shoot all the small elk every time.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's always that choice. Do you shoot the first elk that comes in? Do you pass up smaller bulls so you can shoot a big bull? Or do you do a combo of that, you know, and hold out for something bigger the first few days and then maybe lower your standards later on in the hunt?
Yeah.
And I think we're on day 5. We only have a couple days left here.
Yeah.
And, you know, you're taking a chance. You're
Yes.
definitely, success isn't always 100% about filling a tag, but I think Donnie and I both like to fill tags. And if we don't fill a tag, it's, you know, the hunt itself might not be deemed a success.
Yeah. It's always, you have to know yourself and set your own standards. And if that saying of, if you're not going to shoot it on the
Don't
first
pass
day,
up on the first day what you'll shoot on the last day.
Yep. And, you know, that's got to be predetermined in kind of who you are, where you're at, and roll with your own feelings on your own success.
Yeah, and I think that's the important part is nobody else should be determining what you consider to be success. And it's going to change. You know, had that bull been in Idaho, Donnie would have shot it 100 times on the first morning.
Yep.
Like that's not even a question. So it's not about, you know, oh, somebody's a trophy hunter, oh, somebody's, you know, everybody gets to decide. Every hunt's different, every person's different. And I think it's just important to think about that before you go into it. So you don't A, shoot something that you regret because it's not big enough, or B, you don't end up not filling a tag because you pass up animals that you probably should have shot. So
Yeah.
it's just good to consider that. And like I said, passing up an elk is by no means a failure, but we've only got a couple days left here, so it could very quickly become a failure.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a long flight back home, too.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens in the next episode. But
Yeah.
just a reminder, we've got 3 awesome giveaway packages over at elk101.com/DEV6. We've got product from Peaks Equipment, from Yeti, and from Mountain Ops in each of the packages. Mountain Ops is giving away a $200 gift card and a tub of Bulrush Ignite, which I think we've got one of those somewhere here, right?
Yep.
So we've got the Ignite in Bulrush. They've actually ordered in a very limited quantity. In fact, at the time of you watching this episode, I can't guarantee there's any left, but if you go to mountainops.com, find the Ignite product, and if there's any left in inventory, you can click on the Bulrush flavor and order that. You can use the promo code Elk101 over there. And then don't forget, Peaks Equipment also has a promo code. It's DEV6, and that's going to save you 20% at peaksequipment.com. So huge thank you again, as always, to our sponsors. And we're just very fortunate to be able to partner with them. We have new Destination Elk V6 t-shirts. Those are available at elk101.com/DEV6. And just a reminder, if you don't like waiting until the next episode comes out every Tuesday and every Thursday, we do have the binge watch option over at Fresh Tracks Plus. You can just go to Fresh Tracks Plus. That's Randy Newberg's platform, and he's been gracious enough to
provide us with a slot there for our DEV6 episodes, and you can sign up and watch all of the episodes in one sitting if you want. They're all there right now. All 15 episodes are uploaded and available to watch there at Fresh Tracks Plus. So I think that's all we got for tonight, unless you have a higher quality dad joke.
I don't have any higher quality dad jokes.
Well, we've told enough bad ones. We don't need to ruin their IQ with another bad one.
Yeah.
All right, well, we don't want to give anything away, but you're going to want to see the next episode.
Hopefully something happens.
Hopefully.
He was tearing stuff up and running up and down the mountain, glunking and whining and growling, so he's in the mood.